Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's do a 7-star level 120 review in Brave Exvius, this time of Rydia. And of the final Global Awakening batch, Rydia was the one that I was looking forward to the most. There's two reasons for this. One is because she's one of my favorite characters in any Final Fantasy. If I made a top 5, she would definitely be on there. And Final Fantasy IV, it's one of my 3 most favorite Final Fantasies, and she's my favorite character up there. Her story is cool. In the intro movie, we see her comeback, which is very dramatic and surprising. But then her story beforehand is also cool, like when she was a kid, as she is represented here. Her village gets burned down, she hates the main character, Cecil and Kine. She gets over her fear of fire and all this. Yeah, she's pretty cool. The second reason why I was looking forward to her was because in this game, she has lots and lots of utility. I recently made a video about my favorite characters of 2018, and then if I had made an 11th category, like Best Utility Character, I would have chosen Rydia, but I chose not to include her because she wasn't a 7-star yet. Maybe in my top characters of 2019 she'll make her way onto there. But the reason why she has so much utility is because although she's only good for one thing, which is doing damage, she has so many options to do that, that she's super useful for anywhere where you need to fulfill missions. So like world quests or story quests or the 10-man trials or explorations or whatever. One of the quests that you want to fulfill when you're going through those is like elements. Use elements a certain amount of times. Rydia has access to all elements with a combination of just her magic spells, and then she has some Esper summon stuff, or not Esper summon, but Esper like skills. And then, so she covers all elements except for light. But you can give her a light weapon. You can use a holy wand, and then you'll get the holy magic attack, or just any light element weapon, and she can attack normally to do that damage. So yeah, she's great for clearing missions. She's also good for quests where you are required to do many kinds of element damage in one fight. She can be useful for that as well. Also, her number 1 job is as a summoner, and so if you need to summon like 3 Espers, or if you need to finish with an Esper, she's great for that, because she has some Esper fill abilities. I'll talk about those later. And then I actually won't go into a lot of depth about summoning in this video about Rydia. If and when I pull my 4th Nicole, and then I get that book, which will upgrade Leviathan's damage, then I'll do a specific video about summoning and like how to, and which Espers are good and that. But for now, just know that Rydia can do the summoning. It's mostly going to be good for completing missions. It won't be her best option for damage if you don't have that book. Also, her limit burst is really good. It hits like 40 sometimes, and so it can do good damage by itself. And then because it lasts so long, it's easy to use this in order to clear with a limit break mission as well. So that's yet another mission that she can complete. I hear that it can chain with Blossom Sage Sakura's limit break, which is cool and would probably do a lot of damage. But I don't feel like that would be the best use of those 2 characters. So, but yeah, that's a real quick overview of how I use Rydia to, in all sorts of different situations to complete different missions. She's definitely one of my most used characters because of that. So that's my little spiel about using her in quests to complete missions. Next, I'll talk about using her against bosses, where you need to be a little bit more concentrated in how you want to use her. There's a few different ways you can equip her in order to maximize that one use that you want to get out of her. You can't really just equip her just randomly and then take her into any boss fight and then just kind of adjust her, because you really want to equip her in one specific area to upgrade that in order to get the best use out of that use case. The first use would be, to use Leviathan for chain finishing. And in order to do that, you want to equip a lot of EVO gear. I have the Evoker's Horn here, that'll give you 10%. And then I have her Trustmaster, which you definitely want to get for her. That'll give her another 10%. It'll also boost her magic and spirit, which will help you with the effectiveness of espers that you summon. It's like she's a hybrid damage dealer, so you want to raise those two parameters. And then there's the EVO magic. You can craft this. You can also buy the plus 15% from the Fat Chocobo. So yeah, if you are specifically wanting to get summon damage out of Rydia, then you want to give her EVO magic stuff. She does have these skills, these Eidolon skills, which take up part of her summon gauge, but I don't think these benefit from the EVO magic buffs. So if you were going to rely on these instead, these Eidolon skills, then focus on the magic and spirit instead. And then I guess the last way that you would want to use her is to spam her limit break. And then unfortunately, this limit break, the option to select it is not available in the FFBE builder online. So I can't really see like what is the best way to get the best damage out of this. I think it's either magic spirit like hybrid or it's just flat magic. If you know which one it is, please leave a comment below. I would be very grateful to know about that. And then finally, I guess if you wanted to focus just on her spells, yeah, the flare or the tornado or whatever, then you can just give her flat magic, rather than like magic and spirit together. And then she does have the tornado and the quake here, so you could use her as a chainer for one of those families. Neither of these spells do a ton of damage, even if you chain them, but if you were to use them as a way to set up a finisher, that might be pretty good. The only thing about that, though, is that there are other characters, you know, with Tornado and Quake that can chain, and then they have more support abilities on the side that you can use on off turns. Rydia does not really have a lot of support abilities to help her teammates. So yeah, I would not personally use Rydia as a Quake or Tornado chainer, unless of course you didn't have anybody else, in which case, go ahead. And then she's got a little bit of white magic. Raise Esna Kiraga. But yeah, this is not going to be anything that you can rely on, so yeah, keep that in mind. After I leveled up Rydia to 120, I took her into the dummy to test out some of her attacks. And I was very surprised to see, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but her best attack was the Eidolon Mind Flayer's Chant. This is a water attack, it's a single target, and it takes up 5 Esper orbs in order to use. As a 7-star, you can dual cast with her using double Eidolon. And yeah, that'll take up your entire Esper gauge, so you won't be able to summon anybody. But the damage is very good, and then yeah, you can use it to finish chains. The best one might be Fled Chains. Some other interesting abilities she gets as a 7-star. One is this one. This fills the Esper gauge, and this is great. You just use this on the first turn. I think you can get up to like 7 orbs, which is almost full. That's quite a bit better than Tradition. I used to use this a lot, but now first turn I'm going to be using the King's Prayer. And then Burst Storm, this does an Imperil and then like 1 and then some damage. Although it's not available turn 1, so I'm probably not going to rely on this too much. But yeah, being able to Imperil Water, Wind, and Earth, all of which she has attacks of, that can be useful. And as we can see here, she has both a true dual wield or true double hand. So we can, you know, single wield and maybe use unmatched wizardry, or we can, you know, use dual wield on her, get two weapons on her. You know, I could even do like a holy wand in one hand, get a bunch of spirit, and then a rod in the other hand, get a bunch of magic, and then cover that light element, and yeah, get some good damage in that way. But yeah, Magistral Crest is also really good for her. It gives her both magic and spirit. Also the magic amplifier. What else? Oh, Adventurer, of course. That'll give her both the magic and spirit. But yeah, it's pretty easy to equip her. You just have to keep in mind what you're going to use her for in the fight, and then equip her for that. Okay, next, let's head over to the dummy, and then let's try out her attacks. Okay, so here we are with a more traditional magic spirit build, and yeah, we'll try out all of her other skills. We'll do the limit burst first. We'll get that out of the way. But yeah, very long charge up, and then lots of hits. It does pretty good damage by itself, but since it's so long and so many hits, it's very easy to get the clear with limit break mission, so that's what that is good for. Okay, almost 7 million damage there, that's pretty good. Next, I think we'll skip the spells actually. I think we're all pretty familiar with how strong those are. Let's look at the Eidolon skills. So here we'll do the Chocobo Kick first. We'll double cast that. Alright, so that's decent. And that took 2 times 1 of the Esper orbs. Okay, 3 million, that's not bad. And then let's do the Cockatrice Peck. That is a higher multiplier, it'll take more orbs as well. So yeah, that's almost full. Okay, almost 6 million, that's pretty good. And then finally, let's look at the Mind Flayer's Chant. This is our strongest Eidolon skill. Okay, 4 million. And 8 million, almost 9 million in all. That's pretty darn good, I think. That could be a skill you could potentially use every turn. If you had a Type 0 character, you know, doing the Esper gauge fill every turn, you might be able to do that every turn. Let's try that again. Maybe let's try to finish the chain, the flood chain with Duke and Nicole. Nope, missed the last one, but let's see how much damage we got. 20 million, okay, alright. Alright, and then one last thing. There's like a hidden Eidolon skill. Let's see. If we use Tradition, that will unlock the Eidolon Bomb Explosion. So let's try that out. Where is that? There it is. Aha. So it cannot be dual cast. That is something to consider, but let's use it anyway. And 7 million. Okay, that's pretty comparable to the water one. It also costs the same as far as number of Esper orbs, about 5. But yeah, since it is locked behind the other skill, it's not going to be as useful, I would say, as the Mind Flayer. It also can't be dual cast, so it will do about half the damage. But if you are, you know, fighting a boss where fire is going to be the best option for you, then, you know, you can take some extra turns and use that, and get some good damage in there. And then maybe switch back to water, if that's what the mission calls for. Okay, so that was a look at Rydia. Again, not a top-tier damage dealer. If you do want to use her to finish chains, I would say use the Mind Flayer Eidolon skill. Otherwise, you could have her as a utility attacker, again to bring her through world missions, story quests, and then, you know, unlock all of those, you know, clear with Limit Break, clear with Esper, summon Esper, use elements so many times, whatever. She can do a lot for you. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.